I would go in the computer. No, I would go to a yard sale. Specifically looking for an old GameCube game or an old SNES game that I can play. Maybe N64. I'll look for a copy of Ocarina of Time, Black Cartridge Edition, or some bullshit like that, and the the cartridge will just have a label hastily scribbled on it. Now, I won't worry about this. I'll just think it's weird and head on my way. Then I go home and I put the cartridge into the proper receptacle. I'll start to see Mario on the screen, but his eyes are too realistic. And he's dying. But I just shrug it off as a glitch and continue playing. Is that Skull Trooper when he's passing away? Skull Trooper. No, this is a clown. Clown demon? No, this is just a normal clown. Normal clowns are capable of this. You don't want to see what a real clown looks like. This is a normal clown, but this isn't a real clown. You don't want to see what a real clown looks like. I heard when you see what a real clown looks like, your eyeballs literally start inverting, and their solid surfaces start passing through each other, and you start to actually see in reverse time, and everything is going backwards, and there's nothing. How to turn a sphere inside out? Yes. No, your eyes start doing that. You know, we don't need to be happy all the time. Sometimes it's okay to be sad. Being sad is part of life. And if you're still able to feel sad about something, you know, that means you're a human. Thank you for listening to my TED Talk. I heard if you look at a real clown, you actually start to taste your emotions. Fear tastes like strawberry. You know, I've heard no, this is less about real clowns, but I've heard normal clowns have they can have up to 50-foot wingspans. There's a very big problem with normal clowns in northeastern regions. You know, a lot of them are found on abandoned highways and forests. You know, some end up inside living facilities too, and those are always really rough to see in the news. You know, no one wants to deal with a normal clown. But at least it's not a real clown, right? Am I right, guys? Oh wait, no, you wouldn't understand because you haven't seen a real clown. You've only seen a normal clown. You love that small frog. He's Philip. He's here to protect us from the stream monsters. I can assure you none of you have seen a real clown, though. You know, you can tell the type of person who's seen a real clown before. He walks with a limp, and he doesn't blink because he knows if he does. But if you haven't seen a real clown, then you wouldn't understand what happens if he blinks. I've never blinked before in my life. That clown needs an orthodontist. No, this is about the right places a clown's teeth should be. You should draw a real clown. Oh no, you can't draw a real clown. They extend too far in too many directions. It's very difficult to understand. Do they exist in higher dimensions? It's a little more complicated than that. then zoom it out and approximate. No, it's kind of like it's like a loop. It would be too short. Infinitely too short, in fact. You know, I heard normal clowns can use one of their 87 limbs to pry open windows without making a sound. No, well, okay. There's normal clowns, and then there is real clowns. But whenever we talk about real clowns, they can hear us talking about them. So you have to be very, very careful what you say about real clowns. When you think about a real clown, that's when the symptoms start happening. Art is an incredibly therapeutic thing. I think it's something that anybody can learn if they put enough time into it. And it's not as difficult as you might think. There's a lot of things that go into it, but once your brain clicks, everything sort of falls into place. And it's a very, very nice feeling when that happens. Did you know sometimes a clown's eyes can hatch? This goes for normal clowns and real clowns. Not a lot of people have seen a real clown's eyes hatch. I've never met somebody in person who has, but I've heard it's happened at least once or twice. But that's the price you pay if you don't know how to handle your clowns. I've seen complete amateurs try to handle clowns, and they just... Well, you've seen the news. You've seen the news footage. I don't have to show you. I don't want to talk about it here. It's too gruesome. The eyes are starting to make it too real now. What, these are just a normal clown's eyes. I mean, we're talking about clowns here. You know, it's not like we're talking about bears, which pose no danger, obviously, and have never killed a single person. Ever. Normal clowns can jump up to, they can jump about 80 feet, and they have a ground speed of 45 miles per hour. Nobody... this is actually an interesting fact. Nobody has ever seen any clown, normal or real, in rain. They have never once appeared during a rainstorm. It happened 100 years ago in a town called Redacted. Now, it's not... I'm not, like, redacting the name. It's literal... The town name was literally called Redacted. I think from my understanding, most clown sightings are found in the northeast to midwest territories of the U.S. But I have heard of clowns showing up in places like California and Oregon. I've heard clowns are able to change their body shape. Not too drastically, to a certain degree, but I've seen them be able to fit themselves underneath door frames. But it takes a long time for them to do that. You know, I've heard that some clowns can be persuaded with, but most of them wouldn't really listen to you, or maybe they'd probably laugh. Well, a normal clown would. A real clown would do something else. How do you try to persuade them? Um, have garlic ready, in the pan. Um, you can turn your living room light on and off a few times. That can work. Can sometimes. That one has a rather low success rate, but I've heard people have had a lot of success with that method. I heard if you actually see what a real clown's face looks like, um, both of your kidneys will spontaneously switch places. In fact, like it's so virtually painless that you don't even notice it. Um, but like it's been found later by doctors. So it sometimes causes complications, but normally, um, normally it isn't that serious. The only people that are dressed like clowns are clowns. Never, never fall for their tricks. Okay, so normal clowns. You know how? Oh God, maybe you haven't seen a normal clown. Okay, when you look at a normal clown, okay, when you look into a kaleidoscope, you know how you can change the kaleidoscope, and you roll it, and the different shapes and layers become more clear. It creates different designs. Imagine, if you stop rolling it, the image stays still. Now imagine that, but in clown form. This is just one shape that those colors can make. Does that mean they reproduce with clown peepees? I know they do weird shit with um, those tube balloons, but I don't think they reproduce. I think there was a set amount of clowns on Earth that were put into clown cars. And you know what? To be honest, I don't think we've even made a dent in the amount of clown eggs that are on Earth. There's a limited amount. How many clowns fit in a standard clown car? Okay, so they actually take normal cars. Okay, so this is actually something about the reproduction cycle. Some clown cars are actually clown eggs. You know how like spiders have this like tiny ball in their web where like when it hatches billions of fucking spiders come out? That's what clown cars are. That's why that's why so many of them can fit in there.